People cannot celebrate your success because they don't know your struggles. They don't know the pain that you had to go through. They don't know your hardships and the discouragements that you had to overcome. A lot of times you were alone, just putting one foot in front of another. I know it's hard to deal with, but people sometimes just watch you hustle, watch you grind yourself into the ground, only for them to become deaf, mute, blind, even look like they're paralyzed when you achieve your goals. At least it seems that way, but that's not all that there is to it. Don't let that stop you. No matter how small your achievements may be, learn to pat yourself on your back when no one else will, or even when no one is there to do it, or when no one is there to see it. My name is Jabu Zwane. I'm a mindset development specialist, and I wanted to show a little bit of my story and hopefully in the process encourage you. Now, as people, we're social and communal beings, especially us Africans. Our existence intricately is connected to the communities that we are part of. And this causes us to have certain expectations from those who are part and parcel of our community, especially those who can relate to our situations. One of those expectations is for us to celebrate together. Sadly, in reality, this doesn't always happen, at least not to the extent that we expect it to. I think back to those precious moments back in primary school and in high school, when I'd done well in my studies and it was prize giving. I was alone. When I'd done well even in athletics, when I'd done well even going to regional competitions, I was alone. After school, promotions, alone. Along the path of success, there can be so many moments when you are just walking the path alone, and it is okay. A couple of things that I want us to think about in that moment. Number one, the road to success is long. The road to success can be lonely, even though you may have some people along with you. There are certain parts of your journey where you have to be alone, where you have to walk alone, where you have to face the obstacles alone. You got to figure life out for yourself. Number three, the road to success can be hard. Obstacles and struggles along the way, walls that you have to jump over, the doors that you've got to kick open even. You have to create. Sometimes when there are no opportunities, you have to create your own. Number four, the struggle is real. You are not imagining it, but you can equip yourself to overcome it. I think that one more moment to the time when I came to Gauteng, to Joburg. Like many hopefuls, I left the Free State on my one-way ticket, never to come back to the place of poverty where I was raised. And the first place where I landed was in Alexandra, just bordering Marlborough. There were some abandoned factory buildings there. And I'd found a job there as a cleaner in an ice cream factory, earning 35 Rand a day. And sometimes they would ask us to work overnight, like 24 hours, and then you would earn 50 Rand. That was like 20 years ago. But I had no place to stay. And I saw that next to the factory, there was an abandoned building. And it had broken windows, and it had doors that would not even lock. And I stayed on the first floor because I was afraid of staying at on the ground floor because it seemed unsafe. And I lived that way for the next 3 months to come. And I had to hide from my bosses so they don't know that I live in the building. And I had to somehow wait in the morning when they came to open to sneak in to get some hot water from the factory and go back and take a bath and then come back and work. This is quite a time in my life. But when I think back to that and I look at it and I realize that sometimes you got to do what you got to do to be able to get to where you want to get to. And in those moments, again, you are alone. And in thinking about today's topic, people don't always celebrate your successes because they don't know your struggles. And sometimes you can even forget where you came from, what those struggles were. Sometimes when life gets harder, or maybe when the debts, especially in the middle class, they get more, when there are more demands in your now current executive or fancy job, when it gets more difficult, you can forget where you came from. But I think it's important to remind ourselves about where we came from, how long we had to journey, and what we had to overcome. I want to close with a couple of thoughts here. First one is, life is freaking hard. We're all struggling. And sometimes the struggle is so overwhelming, people don't always have the motivation to celebrate anything in their own lives, let alone celebrate your achievements. Be understanding and exercise a little bit of grace sometimes. Do it for yourself, not for people. Prove it to yourself, not to your haters, not even to please your cheerleaders. Because sometimes we can become slaves to the hand clapping. We can become slaves to the back patting. We can become slaves to the flattering words and to the praises. It's important that we stay on course for our own self to prove it for ourselves. Let's remember, sometimes people cannot celebrate you because you disrupt their comfortable lives. You expose their laziness and the lies they've been feeding themselves concerning their lack of success. Even then, be understanding and lend a hand where you can in a word of encouragement. Remember to be gracious, remember to be merciful. To the best of your ability, remain humble. With all that being said, no matter what happens, you gotta find a way to celebrate your life, your achievements, and all that is great in your life. Don't depend on people's positive or negative responses. And above all, thank God for your life, for your talents, for your gifts, and for the opportunities that you have been able to secure and being able to see. To the opportunities that you've been able to convert into return, into success. Gratitude looks great on you as an achiever. Gratitude is healthy for you as an achiever. Gratitude makes you pleasant because helps you to see pleasure in what you're doing. And do it because why not? You deserve it. My name is Jabu Zwane. I'm a mindset specialist. You can follow me on social platforms, Jabu Zwane, Facebook, at Mindset Solutions Framework Solutions. And also I am on Instagram at Jabu Zwane Profile. Or you can just Google my name, Jabu Zwane Mindset, and you'll find a lot more of these kind of recordings if they've been helpful to you. Enjoy your day.